Hello, everybody, and welcome to this press conference for the first round of the downhill of the Whoop UCI Mountain Bike World Series and the Downhill UCI World Cup. Great to be with you all. We have a very interesting group of riders that have joined us for this first downhill press conference. Joining us will be from Specialized Gravity, Loïc Bruni, from Intense Factory Racing, Louise Ferguson, from Norco Factory Racing, Greg Menard. Reese Wilson is joining us from Trek Factory Racing, and Myriam Nicole from Commensal Mock-Off by RA. Loïc, how's your off-season been, and how's your prep towards this season coming into 2024?
I would say it's been good. It's been hectic at the start. I had a massive crash starting training again, so it wasn't too ideal. But after that, everything went smoothly. I changed some stuff in my program, I think for the best. So things have been productive. I stayed at home more than traveled. New girlfriend, tried to solidify the relationship. Pretty good. It's good. It went well, so I was happy. And now everything so far so good. I had a little crash 10 days ago, which was a bit scary, but I was all good. So it was a bit of a panic attack. My helmet crashed.
Oh
my god! Sorry.
Concussion protocol.
Yeah. Now at least it's breaking. You know.
It's broken in.
But no, everything really good. Did 2 races of preparation. Didn't win. Classic. So I'm in a good year. I feel like everything is set for solid first round, but you never know. Fort William is so difficult, so we'll see.
You're coming in as the defending World Cup winner from last year. One thing that's a bit different from the last few seasons is that most of your rivals, set apart maybe Jackson Goldstone, are coming into the season healthy, in good form. You have one gentleman there, ready to attack. How'd you foresee 2024?
Well, Jackson is one of the main guy now and he's not here, so that's always one spot less, to fight for. But for sure, Greg, I was saying Greg was really impressive on Instagram, at least. Like, no, but positive, like motivated, a lot of things, like a lot of hunger. So I was like, okay, it's cool to see. Reese is back healthy, so another guy in Scotland. It's his home soil, so serious competitor to fight with. And then Loris, Finn, Jordan, like the usual guys. World champion Charlie Hatton, that was also super hard to beat last year. Andreas Kolb, like all those guys, it's like easily 10, 15 guys that are as fast as me, pretty much. So I'll try my best, but for sure it'll be difficult. I would say that the new track suits me better than it ever did, so I hope that I will take advantage of that. But it will be tight for sure, and I'm excited to see what we have in the bag for those guys.
On that fact, I just want to maybe, on the back of that, gentlemen, your thoughts on this course that has changed a little bit. Maybe Reese first, and after that, Greg.
Yeah, I'd actually agree with Loïc. I'd say it helps me a wee bit as far as sprinting goes at the moment. Just with my foot and ankle, it's the one thing that I'd say still hindered by. So to have the track, the bottom half where you would be pedaling pretty hard and doing some pretty important sprinting sections, is now I'd say you're definitely going to be carrying more speed. So it's maybe more of a pumping and tucking game rather than hard sprinting. So I'd like to think that for this race it's going to benefit me a little bit better. So, and on the whole, the track looks like the easiest Fort William we've had. They've filled in a lot of holes, and there's a lot of momentum being carried on some pretty key sections that in previous years have been super rough. So it also helps me. I've had 2 years out. So coming back to a track with 2 years of modifications and improvements makes it feel like a bit of a magic carpet. So yeah, 2 weeks ago I left here feeling pretty confident in how good the bike felt and how smooth the track was. So yeah, I think it's going to be a fast and loose race for sure.
Greg, you've won here 7 times on 7 different iterations. Some seasons were pretty similar. Your thoughts on what you've seen here?
Yeah, I think they've done some amazing changes to the track. I think probably the most changes we've seen. Taking out some section that have been for years, and I think it's just, it's obviously going to be a lot quicker. But I think it's been very good. I think the racing's going to be really tight. And yeah, I think really big compliments to the guys who've designed and added the new sections. I think it's going to be super good. One thing that I wanted to know is who's got the better right hook? You're your new girlfriend.
Loïc, come back to you. The World Championships this year, you missed out last year. The World Championships this year are in your second home in Andorra. Will it be an advantage for maybe title number 6 for you? It's a different course than when you won back in 2015. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I think last year we had some misfortune with the weather that left us a bit hungry, let's say, for more. So this year I go there with a lot of motivation. I know the track suits me. It's pretty fast. Pretty like there's nothing. So the only thing to do is open the throttle pretty much. So I'm looking forward to it. It's my second home, like you say, but it's also Greg's, Loris, Amori's. So, you know, it's like all the guys know the soil and they are pretty familiar with it. So it won't be easy to win. If I could win there, it would be amazing. Last year it was a big goal for me to win here. I didn't make it happen. The British were on fire and I didn't have what it took. But yeah, I think Andorra will be a different story and I hope to be going healthy, everything. We'll have a break before so we can be all tan. And yeah, should be good.
A lot of rainbow bands up here at the front. Louisanne, last year you were 4th here at Worlds. Did that feel like a very satisfying moment in your career being 4th, or was it a very frustrating moment for you?
It's funny you ask because after my race run, I got a couple questions because I was crying and they thought I was upset because I didn't get on the podium. But actually it was an amazing moment for me. Riding through the finish line with a home crowd and yeah, just doing everyone proud. It felt incredible. So
you'll be doing it in new colors on a new bike. What has that transition period been like for you? Because people think, wow, you get on one bike from another. There's a whole gamut of things you've got to get used to. The fit, the reaction of the bike, the different terrains you're riding on. Some bikes are better on certain terrains. How's that been for you this year?
Really exciting and nerve-wracking. So when I first signed with the team, a lot of the components are new, so a lot of unknowns, but I'm lucky I spend the off-season in Queenstown, so I get a lot of time on the bike. So yeah, super fortunate, and everything so far has completely exceeded my expectations. And last week we did a bit of a team camp in Wales, and yeah, just gelled with the team really well. So I think it'll be good to race at home again, and yeah, just on a new bike, and yeah, just see what we can do.
Is this lifting your spirits towards new objectives for this year? Is there one thing or maybe a few things that you are aiming at with this new team?
Get better at public speaking, because there seems to be a lot of it.
You're doing great. You're doing great. Come
thanks.
on.
Yeah, I'd love to go good here, especially the first race, start the season off really well. And on a track I know better than the others. I'd love to do well at World Champs in Andorra. I really enjoyed that last year, despite the crazy weather that we had. Yeah, and consistently get to the top 10. I think we've got a lot of competition, and that's a great thing. So yeah, it's just pushing me and pushing the rest of the girls. So. Yeah.
On that subject, pushing, I'd like to hear Myriam also on this question after. I think it's probably the first time or one of the only times we've started the downhill season in Fort William. We're starting up here. In the past, we've had other events that, kind of got you guys into the mix, into the mood. We're really starting with a big bang. Yeah. How are you feeling in regards to that? Because it's hit or miss right here in Fort William.
Yeah, the track is tough. It's long and physical, and even with all the changes that have been made, I think when it comes to the race run, it's pretty exhausting. But the weather's turned out, so it's maybe going to be a little bit less challenging than previous years. And for me, I did hardline a couple months ago, so I feel like compared to that, I'm not as nervous, honestly.
Congrats on that performance, too.
Yeah, thanks.
Myriam, on the subject of starting with such a big command, which is, taking on Fort William on the first round of the season, how are you feeling?
I feel like this is going to be my outline. So definitely not easy to start with Fort William, with a year off and a bit of struggle in the last few weeks, but I'm really happy, and the change, like they say, it's going to be good, and for me it's going to be helpful to have a shorter track, easier on protection, not as pedaling. So, yeah, looking forward. But yeah, definitely starting with Fort William is challenging.
It's a bit harrowing, I understand. Greg, you were probably the talk of the town in the off season. Everybody wondering after 23 World Cup wins, 60 podiums, 3 overalls, 4 World Championships. We're starting here, where you've won 7 times before. Tell us how this move to Norco happened and how things unfolded for you during the off season.
Yeah, it was an interesting off season. I mean, the move from Santa Cruz to Norco was I'd been there for 16 years, so it was a whole big change. But it's been really nice building the team. It's been nice directing the team and choosing the people around me. So I'm looking forward to this chapter. So far, it's been amazing, and I'm really excited to get racing with the team around me. I think I've got a lot of good support. So it's we've also got some young riders on the team that is more of the base of what we're trying to build, and we want a really strong team, and looking further down the line we want to be a top team. So I think we've off to a good start. I think the team looks good. I think the guys have worked really hard to get here and get everything prepared in time, and I just hope we can kind of give the team what they deserve. The guys have put in a lot of effort, and hopefully we can get a few good results.
So it's a 3-year deal that you've signed with Norco. Is it exclusively racing, or are you really moving into that more administrative, managing role in the next few seasons?
I've stayed out of office for 42 years, and this was my first experience of having to really nail down some hard work. So, it's been interesting. I'd love to keep racing for the rest of my life. I think racing is just the most amazing sport, and especially downhill. It's when you look at these guys and they're racing every weekend and back year on year, and Lurk went through a bunch of people that he sees as competitors. These guys are really pushing the boundaries, and the guys have been up there for a couple of years. There's some fresh kids coming through. But to me, it's such a tough sport to get on top of. I don't feel like I've ever got on top of it. I think that's what keeps it so interesting. So to move into the next role would be to try to build a team that can compete. So I think we've done a really good job of bringing some new technology behind the scenes, and I think we're going to push that forward, and I feel like that's with the direction of the sport. So I'm hoping that will be a platform where we can really excel.
In a very light way, were you guys happy to hear that Reese and Loic, that Greg was racing again this year and it wasn't the end?
I'm definitely excited. You can't not have Greg on the lineup. It's a guy that we've probably all looked up to. Even the girls it's Greg's been here forever. As long as the rocks at Fort William have been here for. So it seems to me. So it just wouldn't be the same without him. So I'm very glad to see him still in the lineup and somebody that we can compare ourselves to. So glad he's here.
Honestly, the more it goes, I was giving him a lot of for being old and stuff, but the more it goes, the more it's impressive, and I think what he's doing, it's off the charts. No one else did it, and no one will do it, I think. He's an exceptional character, but for sure it's amazing to have this guy among us, and I think he has a lot in the tank still, even though he's 42. I'm excited to see what he can do, and good luck, because it's hard. It's hard.
Well, when Greg is on, Greg is on. Something happened a couple of nights ago. There was a documentary that was completed last year after the Worlds here called Not Done Yet. And I guess what happened over the off-season was just a proof in the pudding. You've always mentioned that you were one that you didn't like to watch yourself on TV, didn't like to listen to yourself. But that was quite a testament to what you've done for the world of mountain biking. How were you feeling the other night after you were sitting in that room and watching all this unfold and having all those other people there?
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. I absolutely don't like watching any videos or any footage of myself. So I prefer to, it was like a 45-minute of really sunk back into the seat trying to hide. But, the guys at Warner Brothers really did a good job. I think they captured the moments of mountain biking that a lot of people get that they don't see. There's a lot of emotion. We put a lot of effort into it. And I think the main part of it was, like Lurk wanted to win Fort William. I came in with that same motivation to try and win it. and you put a lot of effort in. You know your life goes on hold, and everything directs to this one race. You're not only putting all the effort in, but you're also putting your body and your, physically everything on the line. So you're taking a lot of chances, and when you're so prepared, but the back of your team isn't, it's kind of a hard one to swallow. And I think that was something that kind of played out last year. So it was a tough race, and I think it's and World Champs is always going to be tough. No matter which venue or what country it's in, it's always going to be a hard race. And so I think it was well captured, and they put together a great edit.
You were so busy with all this other stuff in the off season. How are you coming into the season physically and mentally prepared? Have you had time to even think about that?
Yeah, well, I'm pretty busy most off seasons. I mean, this off season I've just added one extra element, and January, February was busy setting up the team and hiring some staff. Once I had the key members in place, I kind of left it up to them to play their roles out. So in the last kind of probably 2-3 years, I feel more relaxed than I have coming in. The team is very prepared. I think we've got a great staff behind us as riders, and it's now up to us to just focus on the race.
So it's not just about Greg, it's about the whole team, even the bike, because you have Kirk, who's your rider engineer, who's out there from time to time racing here. So the focus is really on bringing this team to the next level, a team that's always kind of been that little engine that I think I can, and now your role will be to bring them to that, yes, I can.
Oh, for sure. We've got the world's fastest engineer on the team, and a big part of it is just capturing more data for the bikes and understanding the sport a little bit closer. And so it's important. So we've got this goal to be a top team, and that's what we're going to strive to do. We've got some great young riders, Gracie Hemstreet and Lucas Cruz. I think it's going to be interesting. It's going to be a different year, but I feel more relaxed. I feel on top of everything. I think coming into where you got to micromanage things is never a good place to be in. And I'm feeling myself, I've got a lot to do. We've got a lot of interviews, a lot of press conferences, and so forth, but it's been really smooth, and so I think I've surrounded myself with people that I needed around me.
Well, as a Canuck, I'm really happy you're on a Canuck team. Louisanne, last year was a very difficult season when it came to injuries in the women. We'll segue into Miriam after that. This year, however, pretty much everybody is coming into this season firing on all cylinders. Is that something that changes your perspective, knowing that Pompon's back and Camille are back?
No, it's great to have more women in the field, and I think in the past it's been tough to fill the complete category, so now it's like just shows how good we're all getting, and it's just nice to have you back healthy as well. So the more the better, but in terms of racing, it's more competition. It's one of those sports, if you can stay out of injury, then overall you're going to do better. And I think last year I didn't push myself enough. I didn't get injured at all, but maybe I should take a bit more risks and hopefully not get injured.
Yeah, exactly.
But just push in those race runs when it counts.
Well, Miriam, on that subject, we talked a couple of times last year. We were on the sidelines. You were watching and cheering on some of your teammates. It's been 2 years straight of very frustrating injury situations. What's kept you motivated? Is it watching riders like Louisanne and the younger ones starting to come up and rise to the top of the ranks?
Yeah, I mean, it's not the feeling of not finishing your business, like Greg said, I hope it doesn't last too long. But I mean, I feel like I still have some in the tank, and it's good. It's just like a big family, and racing is just so cool. So this is a place where I feel good, and stopping on an injury was something I would have hated to. And it's a big victory to be back racing.
Well, during that injury period, like Tani in the past, you've been very vocal about, taking care of oneself, getting back into shape, not jumping back into the mix too fast. Loic has talked about it also in the past. So has Reese. That's also very important, especially when you get to this World Cup level.
Yeah, racing World Cup is no joke. So when you want to go back racing, you have to be a minimum ready, and it takes time. So coming back straight away would have been a mistake, and I tried to come back earlier last year, but I could not make it. And in the end, I took this off season to build some more, and I felt good this way.
Do you feel kind of as you felt in 2019 where you didn't race a lot? I think you had 1 or 2 World Cups. You went to Mont Saint-Anne and won the World Championship. Are you kind of in that same frame of mind physically and mentally?
Well, I was like really at my top before when I crashed and hurt my foot, but of course, an injury, when you come back, you're so grateful, and like I've never been that happy to be on the World Cup, to be honest. So yeah, it's good to have some moment off like you had, and then when you're just even more grateful.
For you, Reese, because we're talking about this, you did have to step away for a while. A lot of pressure coming off the Worlds in 2020 and all that. For you, that time off, were you able to regain a certain passion, a bit like Miriam was talking about?
Yeah, definitely. I guess, again, that's one of the things that's so impressive about Greg is every year when you're riding the same training tracks at home and you're doing the same gym programs and you're eating the same breakfast and it's just life's on repeat over and over and over again. That, like, you get to that 10-year mark, and I guess for me, I was starting to, World Championships came to me pretty soon and a World Cup win, and you have to find motivation somewhere. So sometimes being forced to the sideline and looking at it from a different perspective and going, okay, wait a minute, that's not actually, the results aren't always the be all end all. That's not really why you're necessarily there. It's a nice cherry on the cake, but actually just being a part of it and kind of doing what Greg's done and blazing a trail for, in my case, Scottish Downhill, and having other Scottish riders come down and through is probably as important, if not to me more important than that. So just to be at this race and having friends and family coming from far and wide kind of just because I'm here and that they want to see me is an incredible feeling. So that is kind of pinnacle and above everything, and that's kind of what I'm back here for, is like to feel that again and get the energy and get the charge off of all those fans that are here for me. So yeah, really looking forward to that, and for sure, whole new perspective. It's refreshing to come back after 2 years of being forced out. A bike's never felt and been so exciting in my life. So yeah, I'm ready for it.
That's cool. Miriam, back to you. He's talking about feeling fresh, feeling renewed. The team, Comment Salmakov, is really refreshed now. You're back, Amaury's back. The spirit must be riding pretty high now.
Yeah, it's definitely a good thing. We were really happy to find each other. It was kind of emotional yesterday to be all together around the table. And yeah, we have 2 new twins in the team as well, and they're killing it. So it was hard and it felt quite empty last year. So having everybody back, it's good. Like, it feels good.
Reese, what's it like to be racing at home in Scotland? You said, family and friends are there, but does this bring you back to a time where you were dreaming of being on the World Cup?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny you say that. In 2018, I guess my dream came true of getting a first World Cup podium and having the realization that I could actually do this and I could compete with these guys, and not only that, but possibly, beat them all one day and be a winner of a World Cup. So for that to happen at your home race in front of friends and families, everything you could ask for as a racer. So every time I come here now, I still have those memories in the back of my head. When I look up to where the podium is, I remember that day and I don't think I'll ever forget it. So yeah, I mean, for sure I could repeat that, but it's never as good as the first time you do it. So we'll need to come up with something else to do to make it a bit more exciting, I think.
We were talking to Miriam a few seconds ago about the importance of that team. You have a team that's stuck with you through the thick and thin over the last few seasons. I guess that's also been a very, almost like an anchor. You've been able to anchor yourself into that cove and feel safe, in a good space, and just build yourself back up. Yeah, I mean, I can't thank Trek enough for what they've done for me in the last 2 years. It's been sidelined for 2 years. They're more than in their rights to move me on and take somebody else on that's in a position to fight for race wins. So the fact I'm still here and they've supported me with no doubt through the entire time that I will be back to where I was beforehand is, I take my hat off to them. I'm very thankful for it, and in return, I hopefully can back it all up and give them some return on that investment. So I'm definitely looking forward to getting stuck into it this year. Miriam, the new format, this will be the first time that you race in this new format. Your thoughts on that? And especially it's changed a little bit once again this year. For you, an advantage or a disadvantage?
I'm really happy we have only one race on final. It's going to be a bit like before, and it makes it a bit more special. But yeah, it's going to be different. Like the first day is going to be quite intense, but we finish quite early, so a bit of time to recover. And then the Saturday is going to be like really tough, but I mean, like, that's what we are prepared for. And I feel like last year was a bit of I was not a big fan, but the program how it is now, it looks pretty good.
by a show of hands, who prefers the format this year with the final racing? Loic, Miriam, yeah, Pompon, you said yeah.
I've not got to race it, so
That's what I was going to say. You're the other one that hasn't
Oh, yeah.
raced it. All new for you.
Do you mean compared to the original format?
No,
or
compared to
from
just last year. Like Miriam,
Oh.
on Miriam's point of
Yeah.
just having to concentrate on the final on that day.
Yeah, I also agree. Yeah.
Great for you. So, excellent. That's another thing sorted, as we say, for this season. That's all the questions I have, but I'm sure we have people in the room that do have a few questions for some of our riders.
This one in the back.
Yep.
No. Please, no.
Hello. I have a question for the young men. Can you explain us the secret of your longevity?
Explain the circuit. What do you
Circuit.
mean?
The
the
secret.
secret. Sorry. I don't know. I feel like the sport is an interesting sport. I feel like I've never really dominated it. I feel like I've never really been on the top and stayed at the top. And I've always had glimpses of wins and then it's been really hard to come back up and win. I found that challenge just so incredible. And I think that's what's kept me going. It's we have a long off season, so I don't ride a lot of downhill in the off season. I surf, I play golf, I hang out, and so I feel like when I come back into the season, I want to race again. And I think those are the two things that have kept me in the sport along. Is I'm really competitive, and I just don't really ride a lot of downhill.
I think a couple gin and tonics help here and there too. Eh?
Every now and then. I mean, pickling's a part of the process, right?
Thank you.
Hydrated.
Do you have an answer to the secret of longevity?
Me, I'm not concerned yet. I have 25 years left, but I understand his point of view and his mindset, because if you do it too much, then it becomes a lot. And I feel like Greg knows how to disconnect. And we're a bit the same, I reckon. Like, we don't dominate so much. Like, we win once in a while, struggle to come back, and it makes it really fun to fight back and get it, and then start over again. But he did it 23 times, I think. So that's a lot. And I think he won five overalls, no?
Sorry?
How many overalls did you win?
3.
I thought 5.
No.
Ah,
No.
not so good. But anyways, it was impressive, like I said before, and I'm sure he's going to impress us again this year. So we'll have to write a book about this guy.
Oh, he's got a movie already.
Yeah. True.
I got a question for Reese. You're back after a long enforced break from the sport. I think you frightened a lot of riders on the circuit with some Instagram clips in the off season, which have I've heard a few riders say they are worried about quite how fast you are. But I'm guessing you're going to be wanting to ease yourself back in a bit. But we're on your home turf, a track that you know well, that you've gone well on in the past. There's going to be however many thousand fans shouting your name here on Sunday. Like, how do you manage that? How do you try and, I guess, keep it all in a pile and not get carried away on a week like this?
I mean, it's at the end of the day, it's Instagram. The shorter you cut a clip, the faster you look. So anybody that's been in an editing software will know that it's pretty easy to make somebody slow look fast. So maybe it's just a better hand to my editing skills on iPhones these days. But I don't know. I've just been riding my bike loads, having loads of fun, and I've not really tried to do anything as such. You know, I just feel like my Instagram went dead for 2 years, and I had to kind of claw my way back into liveliness. So I've just been, like I say, enjoying riding my bike and posting whatever I've been doing on that day, and that's that. I haven't really been overthinking it, but yeah, the reality is I feel amazing when I'm riding my bike. It's riding a bike and racing a bike are two totally different things. So I've been riding bikes plenty, but I haven't raced for 2 years. So I need to control the nerves and manage a whole race weekend and see where I come out at the end of it. And of course, like everybody on here, if you're top 5, you have a lot less to do as the season goes forward. You can kick it into neutral and just coast it through. But if we come down there tomorrow and we're 45th, we've got some hard work to do. So time will tell.
Thank you. Thanks for the editing tips.
Had a question for Miriam. You've been on the sidelines sort of looking in at the women's field. Who do you think are the people to beat in the women's field as you come racing?
I feel like the level up step up a lot, and there is a lot of top 10 girls that are faster. definitely Vali did smash it last year. She won overall and world champs, and she was on fire on the last year I watched in Mont Saint-Anne, and she had a good winter. I had a chance to ride with her and Camille in New Zealand, so she's definitely really fast. So if I had a name to put, that would be Vali.
Is that the same for you, Lou? Like, obviously you've been racing against them last year.
Yeah.
Is it the same people? Is that the person to beat, do you think?
Yeah, I think Vali is definitely one of the top women, and I'm pretty, from riding in New Zealand, a lot of the girls came over to do a bit of training, so it was actually really fun to go on some tracks that I know and they didn't, and I think everyone is so talented, but it does just come down to the race and like more of a mental thing than a physical. So yeah, everyone is a good bike rider, but yeah, I think Vali's kind of discovered the last couple of years how to race well and keep it like calm and not struggle under that pressure. So yeah, for me, I'm just going to focus on myself and work on the things I can focus on, and that's my plan.
I've just got a quick one for Louise as well. Sorry. Am I right in saying that you grew up here in Fort William?
Loch Aber High School. That's
Okay,
local.
yeah. I mean, just how much of your childhood did you spend here, and are you able to share some of your earliest memories of coming here, whether it was as a spectator or, some of your early racing memories?
Yeah, absolutely. I am local to here, and I don't know if you know, but when you grow up here, you get free mountain bike tickets. I think it's on a Thursday or Friday, so you actually get to come up and watch the race. And yeah, kind of that's the first time I figured out what downhill was, but I wasn't really interested in racing it. And some friends got me into mountain biking, and then my first downhill bike I took up to the top of the downhill track. I put on every piece of padding I could. And I managed to get down okay, but it was full on. I shouldn't have been up there. And since then I've just haven't been able to stop. So the track's good. I think it was like quite nice to get into racing here. A lot of people told me that if I could get down this track, then I'd be all right, like elsewhere. But Fort William is, I don't know about you, Reese, but Scotland's got some amazing mountain biking, but it's really far away from everywhere else. So when I started getting into racing, I struggled to get to the other races. So I always thought of the World Cup as a massive goal that was almost like unachievable. And I tried to get enough points to race and didn't quite make it when I first focused on it. So I chatted to Mike and Leslie, who used to run the World Cup, and they let me be a sweeper. I can't actually remember which year it was, but they changed the wood section and it rained a lot and everyone crashed. It was like really traumatic. And I remember coming down just being like, I have no idea if I can get through this. And then, that was it. And then the next season I started racing World Cups, so properly. So, yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm interested in riders' thoughts on this Fox speed suit on one of the most, I guess, aerodynamically beneficial tracks on the circuit. I don't think any of you have got one, I think I'm right in saying. I'm keen to hear riders' thoughts on that. Do we think it's a good thing? Are you worried by it? Do you think there's big gains to be had? Go on, Loic. Grab a mic.
We raced on it like at World Champs. Remember when we had skin suit here, and it's fast. So the braking is different, definitely. But it's I find it cool. Tani is super sexy on it.
Well, I think it's not a skin suit, otherwise it wouldn't be legal.
It's a twosie, right? Not a onesie.
Yeah. I think the last few years everyone has been playing with the rules a little bit, super tight. Like you can see my jersey is pretty much skin. So I reckon there's something to be looked there, because it's not 100% clear, the rule, I think. But they were smart enough to do it, I would say, and take the risk to do it. So it's pretty cool. I just know that if I had done it and wear it myself, I would not have been so sexy. But I would have got roasted because, the Frenchies, the old days, the skin suit and stuff. So I'm happy I was not the first one wearing these kind of things. But I guess he'll get a lot of people talking, and I think it's a good subject because we have a point that's like last year, like going off the track or not, disqualified or not, it was always like blurry.
Yeah.
So these things have to be a little bit more clear, and it's the occasion to make it more clear. So hopefully more sexy people on the downhill bikes, but maybe not. Only for girls.
Don't be so hard on yourself.
No,
though.
I want to be sexy too.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely cool. It's difficult to innovate on clothing, I think, especially now, like, history repeats itself, and we seem to go around in circles every 10 years, and we bring back all the old colours, and then it's, what's new is just old done in a different style. So I think Fox have done pretty well to look outside the box and come up with something different for kit. So I'm for that side of it. Will it actually make any advantage? I don't think it will. Like Lloyd says, all of our kit is so tight now that are they actually gaining any advantage from it being tighter? I'm not sure. And I know for a fact when I'm at the top of the hill and I'm nervous and I need to go to the toilet, I would not like to wrestle one of them off in a cubicle with a few minutes to go. So good luck to those guys. I hope they've got that under control.
They have got a zip on now. They have
Do
got a
they?
zip, yeah.
Well, that'll be getting worked hard.
I don't have much to say, but it's just cool to see that our sport is open to trying new things, and if it helps with performance, so it'd be good to know. So.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have much to say on the performance side of it. I haven't tried one myself, but I think it's good to see companies pushing the boundaries and getting creative and bringing sexy back. I think it's good. We need to push in all different areas, and I think they found a creative way to do it.
Well, thank you, everybody. Appreciate you being here. Best of luck on this first round, and we'll be seeing you out there.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.